Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happenings today. Ever since Omoyele Sowore took a sweep at Peter Obi over presidency and a lot of things, dug out a lot of very dirty details, whether alleged or not, a lot of Nigerians have been reacting to it. Celebrities have been reacting to it. I'm here with my colleague, and we're going to look at a lot of things, including what celebrities are saying concerning Omoyele Sowore, the mindset of Nigerians, and the issue of presidency for the youth come 2023. Well, let's go straight into the news. Then, of course, we'll look at this in a holistic manner. Well, a Nollywood actor and comedian Ime Bishop Omo, popularly called Okon Lagos, has discussed, or rather has disclosed in a live show, that he was disappointed in Sowore for what his take on Peter Obi suggested. Okon began by acknowledging that, in fairness to Omoyele Sowore, the presidential candidate of AAC has worked hard. He has been imprisoned, taken to court, incarcerated, abused, and politically violated in his quest to achieve good governance in Nigeria. Nonetheless, Okon expressed disappointment in Sowore for venting his rage and jealousy on Peter Obi. Okon said it is bad politics and misleading of people for Sowore to make a video to discredit Peter Obi, who has been an executive governor of a state and who was able to maintain financial prudence as a governor. Okon Lagos disclosed that, in his opinion, Omoyele Sowore thought this show of acceptance of Peter Obi was supposed to be his. He added that Sowore believes that he is more entitled to the glory and the street fame that Peter Obi is enjoying right now. He said he could understand his anger and his venom. He further stated that, the truth be told, Sowore should be the one to join Peter Obi and not vice versa. He said politically Peter is on the A side, but Sowore is just an activist. His argument was that Sowore had not been tasted through the fire and deep waters of power. He said Sowore does not know what power is. You've heard what Okon Lagos said. What's your take on this whole saga with Sowore reacting, Peter Obi now having so much fame on his side?
I really understand the position of Sowore. Sowore has been around and has been contesting severally, and expectation was that as he's contesting, based on the principle of continuity, that his fame will start growing, and at a point he will be a generally acceptable personality by Nigerians because of his track record of always going out against corrupt leaders. So I do understand how it feels like all of a sudden someone from the blues just came, and all of a sudden he's taking over everything. So right now he's feeling totally abandoned. He may not say it out, just like this guy has rightly said. He feels that he is entitled to this fame. How did this guy just show up from nowhere? But let's be very truthful and very objective about this. He is, I'll call him, the chief watchdog over politicians and the activities. That's who Sowore is. Sowore is one person that sniffs around them to see their mistakes and then bring it to limelight and start castigating him. He's someone that we know seeks for justice for people. You can call him professor of justice. He seeks for justice for people. He wants to get things right, but he has not been tested. Sowore has not been tested. Sowore has never been a minister before. Sowore has never taken care of a state. Nigeria, let me use Nigeria no be beans, so Nigeria no be akara. Let me tell you. So the issue of thinking that you can just come out from some way without any proven track record of leadership and you take over this country, Nigeria, no sane person will give it to you. Now, about Peter Obi, Peter Obi is, I'll call him a divine project. Somehow, whether Nigerian win or not, but Peter Obi is one person God is using because others have disappointed God. God wants to use him to change the narrative, to let people know the importance of having a good record, a good track record when it comes to leadership, integrity. He's one person that have integrity. He can tell you the reason why I did this. This is it. This is it. But Sowore doesn't have all of that. So
sorry to interrupt you. You said something about divine project. Does it mean that Sowore too cannot be this divine project? After all, Peter Obi is young, Sowore is young. Peter Obi is articulate, Sowore is articulate. Peter Obi has been in the scene, behind the scenes. Sowore has also been behind the scenes. Peter Obi has spoken about the issue of good governance. Sowore has spoken about the good governance. So what's the difference between Sowore and Peter Obi on that perspective?
The difference is leadership. Tested leadership. Power, he has handled power. And when he had opportunity, Peter Obi had opportunity of handling power. He didn't mess up. He was given an opportunity. He proved to Nigerians that he has capacity. See, Peter Obi is like the expectation of the people. What the people were waiting for. You understand? So Sowore is, if you say, it's time for activism. Even that same activism we are talking about, there's a question mark. A lot of people have so many question marks, about his activism and all of that. Because to show you why I'm saying that Peter Obi is divine project. Peter Obi, you can liken Peter, the action of Nigerians, that's action of Nigeria during NSAS.
So what is happening right now?
What is happening right now? NSAS was not something that Sowore built, said, I have a foundation of activism and all of that. He now built from it. No. It was something that came up. He even came to front the whole thing. Hey, we don't need you. We don't need you. We don't need anybody.
Tomorrow night, this is political move.
You understand? This is what we want. And that's the same thing that happened with, Peter Obi. Peter Obi was just an expectation. Nigerians were like, who can fit into this? We are tired. All of them are corrupt. All of a sudden, someone shows up. And by the time he started talking, and then, there are a lot of people who are very investigative. They did all of that, but they couldn't really see anything wrong with it. Yeah, he had one or two small mistakes here and there, but then we saw someone who was not coming to liaise with the people and beg for their support. We saw someone who was, I am out to salvage the country. You understand?
But when you talk about issue of leadership, don't you think Sowore to have had a little test, being the fact that he's the CEO of his company? At least some people have, as he gives orders to obey him. At least in that perspective, he has tested leadership. Although some Nigerians believe that he should start with the councillorship, the question is, why would a man who's looking for presidency still so low as to get going for councillorship? But don't you think he has tested power at least at that level?
Okay, now first of all, when it comes, there's huge difference between your brainchild and a country like Nigeria. Sarah Reporter is his brainchild. He will just sit there, fire anybody wants to fire, run the thing based on sentiment, run the thing based on his mindset about journalism and all of that. But when we are talking about leadership, we are talking about everything hooked to you in Nigeria. Yeah, Nigeria is a federal system, but unfortunately, the way it is run like a unitary, government.
Yes,
exactly. So now everything, we have multiple ethnic groups, we have multiple religion, we have people with multiple mindsets and all of them get hooked to you. So to play around them requires some level of experience, deep experience of 3, 4, 5 years, 7 years. This guy, sorry, has he handled money before? I mean, real money. Okay, let's take a retrospect at what happened to Nigerians when they brought in the activist, the NLC activist, Oshomole, as a governor. What happened? The experience was horrible. The experience, he came in and started domineering, even when APC brought him in. So, okay, because of your agility, let's bring you in as our number one man. What happened to them? We saw a lot of people with leaving the party, a lot of people castigated because, man, this guy have not been tested. So there's something about activists. You've got to, just like what people said about the issue of being a kingmaker. Stay there. That's your office. If you push too much, you will die. You understand? Kingmakers are meant to be kingmakers. They are not meant to be president. Watchdogs are meant to be watchdogs. They are not meant to be leaders. What they do is to checkmate everybody. And so that when you die, okay, this guy had been around us. This is who he represents and all of. Not to be a leader. I'm telling you, be shocked that if they give him an opportunity, he will be a dictator that Nigerians have never experienced before. He will be someone that, will have vengeance in his heart against the oh, finally I have arrived and all of that. So just like Okon Lagos and Bradley say, I feel he should join this guy, and not even as his vice, but join him as someone who wants to take him there, and possibly in future, if there's an opportunity of being an EFCC boss man,
okay,
it will be good enough for ICPC and all of that.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, but that's where we're going to wrap it up. Quite a lot we said. Let's meet in our comment section. Do you agree with my colleague that Sowore needs to be tasted and maybe stay in his lane as an activist? Or do you think, just like he mentioned about Divine Project, don't you think Sowore too should also be a Divine Project?